we're starting the stream here. And we're still waiting for a couple of our participants to join in here. I'm gonna share the quiz with them as we're waiting for a few more people to join, but this is super exciting. I've been very excited about this all day long, writing up the quiz questions so that I can stump everybody here that ends up watching the stream, the people who are on live with us right now, who are, like I said, we're still looking for a few more people to do that, but we've got our core members, our diehards here on the line already, and I'm going to explain this to everyone at the same time here as we go. There we go. Okay. So the way it's going to work is I've got 30 questions that I wrote out earlier today for the contest, and we're going to play with us on the live stream as a team, and then each of the people who are here can keep their own score, and here are the rules. There are no prizes. It's entirely on the honor system, so cheat if you want to. All right, pretty straightforward. I will drop the link to the quiz right here into the chat on YouTube. Thanks to everybody who's joining. And if you're watching live today, if you end up watching the recording later on, best way to get involved is to subscribe to the channel, like the video. We'll let more people about it. And if this goes well, we'll make it an ongoing thing. My name is Mike. I'm going to host today, member of the World Affairs Council. I host the luncheon presentations for our members. So if you watch the YouTube channel here, you've probably seen me before, joined by a couple of the other board members. Kevin, introduce yourself a little bit here.
I'm Kevin Coots. I'm secretary for the World Affairs Council, and happy to be here.
Excellent. It's exciting to have you here. And David.
I'm Dave Hewitt. I'm a member of the board. So.
And who's joining you?
Your lovely wife, yes.
Arlene is here as my support.
And
Official observer. Yeah.
Arlene's not going to play. Let's get her some scorecards.
No, you could go in your own point.
That's all right.
No.
All right, so I'll share one. We'll start with the first question and use this like a test. So right now, everybody can see the question that's on the screen. And the first question is, what is the best number? And you can take a minute to decide what you think your answer is. And then once you've got it, go ahead and hold it up to the screen so that everybody can see what, okay? Now, David, you're looking at everyone's answers. You got to choose for yourself. Now you've seen what Kevin and I said. You could pick sides with one of us, or you could vote against us. 2. All right, I see how it is. Well, I guess I will give it to Kevin. Kevin, what was your number 2? Or you were 3?
I was 3.
Oh, it disappeared. They were all the right answer. But that's how the scoring is going to work. We'll hold up our answers, and whoever gets the most answers, then we'll just use that to score the test. As we go, we'll keep score as a team, what we've been able to come with all together, and then you can keep score individually, and we'll answer the questions there.
Okay, how do I know which number that each one is?
So as I read them off, I'll tell you 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll typically go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So in this case, the first question is going to be, Israel and this country reached a landmark accord sealed by President Trump on August 13th that could presage a broader realignment in the region as the two agreed to full normalization of relations in exchange for Israel suspending annexation of occupied West Bank territory. The choices are, number 1, Iraq. Number 2, Syria. Number 3, the United Arab Emirates. Number 4, Saudi Arabia. And we say number 3, the UAE. Correct. According to the New York Times, if fulfilled, the agreement would make the Emirates the third Arab country to establish normal diplomatic relations with Israel after Egypt, which signed a landmark peace agreement in 1979, and Jordan, which signed a treaty in 1994. It could reorder the long stalemate in the region, potentially leading other Arab nations to follow suit and increasingly open alignment with Israel against their mutual enemy in Iran, while taking Prime Minister Netanyahu's explosive annexation plan off the table, at least for the moment. This summary from the New York Times. All right. We understand the rules. We all got that one right. Everybody gets 1 point. Here's the next question. Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, a feminist icon and the what number woman to serve on the Supreme Court, died on September 18th at the age of 87? The only, the first, the second, or the third? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ready? Show your answers. Kevin, what you got? 3. All right. So Kevin says 3, the second woman. And David and Arlene say 3rd. The correct answer is the second woman. From the New York Times, Justice Ginsburg, a national cultural icon, not only changed the law, she also transformed roles of men and women in society. Her pointed and powerful dissenting opinions earned her late life rock stardom. Young women had her image tattooed on their arms. Daughters were dressed in RBG costumes. And "You Can't Spell Truth Without Ruth" appeared on bumper stickers and t-shirts.
Oh, I think she was after her.
Was there a dissent, David?
Well, no, I was counting the number of women that had become Supreme Court, and I was wrong. The question, I didn't read the question correctly.
Yes, right. At the time, she was the second to become. There have been 3 overall.
Yes.
All right. Next question. Diana, Princess of Wales, died in a car crash in which city on August 31st, 1997? 1, London. 2, Berlin, Germany. 3, Cardiff, Wales. 4, Paris, France. 4 is the correct answer. All right, let me just attend to the stream here for a moment.
Who was in the car with her?
There is no video. The princess developed an intense interest in serious illnesses and health-related matters outside the purview of traditional royal involvement, including AIDS, cancer, and leprosy. Diana's extensive charity work also included campaigning for animal protection, fighting against the use of landmines. She was the patroness of charities and organizations who worked with homeless, youth, drug addicts, and the elderly. Became very well known for her nonprofit work, in addition to her role as the princess. All right. I haven't gotten word from anybody else who's joining, so we are going to forge ahead here. Which communist leader is considered the father of the Russian Revolution of 1917? 1, Joseph Stalin. 2, Vladimir Lenin. 3, Leon Trotsky. 4, Grigory Zinoviev. 2 is the correct answer. Vladimir Ilyich Ulyanov, better known by his alias Lenin, was a Russian revolutionary politician and political theorist. The violent revolution marked the end of the Romanov dynasty and centuries of Russian imperial rule. During the Russian Revolution, the Bolsheviks, led by leftist visionary Vladimir Lenin, seized power and destroyed the tradition of Tsarist rule. The Bolsheviks would later become the Communist Party of the Soviet Union. All right, 5 questions in. How are we feeling about it?
It's going well.
All right.
But I'm falling behind. This is not good.
You got time to make up ground. Kevin, you feeling strong in your lead? Just silent confidence.
Yeah, I think I'm doing okay. I don't want to brag. I don't want to display hubris.
Let your actions speak for themselves.
Retribution from the gods.
All right. I hear you. All right. Which country was the first to experience the Industrial Revolution? Number 1, France. 2, Germany. 3, Britain, which I think I might actually have misspelled there. And 4, Spain. All right. What answers are we coming up with? 3 and 3. Britain is the correct answer. What is called the First Industrial Revolution lasted from the mid-18th century to about 1830 and mostly confined to Britain. The Second Industrial Revolution lasted from the mid-19th century until the 20th century and took place in Britain, continental Europe, North America, and Japan, according to Britannica.com. This one, I didn't know. I would have kind of guessed at this one, I think. When it started, I actually was thinking Germany because of rebuilding efforts after the war, but that would have been totally wrong.
But Germany didn't exist really then. Germany didn't really exist in the 1890s.
I have a coughing fit during my own show here. Here we go. All right. Oh, this is a fun one. How many years did the 100 Years' War last? I feel like my dad told me this and thought he got me. Number 1, 99 years. Number 2, 116 years. Number 3, 100 years. Number 4, 101 years.
No
2.
idea, but
2.
that's my guess.
It is, in fact, 116 years. The name of the 100 Years' War has been used by historians since the beginning of the 19th century to describe the long conflict that pitted the kings and kingdoms of France and England against each other from 1337 to 1453.
So tell the truth, Dave. Did you know that one?
Yeah, I did. That's a Jeopardy question.
Mine was the pure guess. I just thought, well, pick the largest number.
I know, that's a fun one, right?
Well, that's a Charlie Brown way of answering questions. I did one before, so now it's got to be 2, 3, or 4, you know?
Right. And again, I didn't know that one before today either. I feel like I fell for that as a kid. Now I feel like I'm going to go back and say, you lied to me. All right. What was the name of the Mars planetary probe launched by NASA in 1975? 1, Viking. 2, Mariner. 3, Phobos. 4, Pathfinder. Viking, Mariner, Phobos, Pathfinder. I feel like we should make Dave and Arlene play separately. Somebody's there's some coattails going on there, I think. Ooh, a 1 and a 2. How confident are you, Kevin?
Oh, I'm guessing.
David?
Arlie said 2, so I'm going with her.
All right.
I bet Arlene's right.
The answer is actually 1, Viking. The Viking one.
Oh.
The Viking 1 was the first of 2 spacecraft sent to Mars as part of NASA's Viking program. On July 20th, 1976, it became the second spacecraft to soft land on Mars, the first to successfully perform its mission. Mariner was actually designed for a flyby to Venus. Phobos was an unmanned Russian craft. And Pathfinder, I believe, also was a Mars lander, but not the first one.
Does Jeffrey want to join us?
Oh, do we have people waiting? Let me see.
Well, he's down there.
Just check on my Zoom room here. Let's see.
All right, put the camera on here. Yeah, we're here.
Oh, there we go.
I did it already.
So, you're a member, Jeffrey?
Sheila is.
Sheila's a member.
Sheila's? All right. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
I'm Jeff Bornstein, and
Sheila Bornstein.
Jeff and Linda on the line.
So you guys get 0 because you didn't answer all the first ones.
I thought it was the other way around. They're all right if I.
That's pretty much the case. So just to recap the rules, it's self-scored. There are no prizes, and you can cheat if you want to.
Cheating's good.
it works.
Everybody clear on that?
Yeah.
Now, we had a couple practice rounds. You're kind of jumping in here. So I don't know if you saw any of what we've been doing up until now, but you just kind of pick it up as we go. We'll get to the next question here.
Well, just what order are they in? 1, 2, 3, and 4.
So for next time, I think I'll actually write the number by each answer. For now, I'll just read them in the order and tell you which number they are.
Okay.
All right. What was the highest grossing movie of the 1970s? Number 1, Jaws. Number 2, The Godfather. Number 3, Star Wars. Number 4, Grease. Number 3, Star Wars. Number 4, Grease. So I'll give you a moment to come up with your answers. See, David tips his hand by answering early. So if anybody's watching David, you could although I don't know if that's your best move right now. We might not to throw shade at.
Hey, the promoters are here now too.
Not to throw shade at. All right, let's see. Gordon, did you catch the question? We'll bring you in after the next question. How's that? We'll bring you in after the next question. All right. How's that? All right, so let's see the answers.
All right. I don't know. Can you see it?
Kevin says Jaws. Jeff and Linda say Jaws. Dave Hewitt says Star Wars. And Dave Hewitt pulls ahead or pulls up to even.
Yes!
Pulls ahead or pulls up to even. The answer was Star Wars, which opened in 1977, grossed $221 million plus some change worldwide. Adjusting for inflation as of 2019, it was the number 4 grossing movie of all time, behind Gone with the Wind, Avatar, and Titanic.
So Mike, I'm hearing a bit of echo there.
Getting an echo.
So
Yeah, I think that
show-
might be coming from Gordon's computer.
Yeah, I think that might be coming from Gordon's computer.
Should we mute?
Yeah.
I'll mute.
Yeah, Gordon was sending some feedback. So you're fine, David. Gordon, if you leave yours muted, you can still hold up your cards. Do you want to unmute yourself, Gordon, for a minute to introduce yourself and your wife here?
Okay, I'm me, Gordon Perlmutter, and Carol's sitting right next to me over here. I'm gonna leave and come back. I have a feeling I got on to Facebook, and I think it's.
Yeah, there's definitely some feedback there. If you've got YouTube open at the same time, you definitely want to close that. So I muted you here. There we go. All right.
Okay.
While we wait for Gordon to get back, which historical figure lived between the years of 1815 and 1898? Historical figure between 1915 and 1898. 1. Otto von Bismarck. 2. Thomas Jefferson. 3. Gregory Rasputin. 4. Mohandas K. Gandhi.
Yep.
1-1. A guess for Jeff and Linda. What did you guys have an answer, team Jeff and Linda? 1. Otto von Bismarck. 2. Thomas Jefferson. 3. Gregory Rasputin. 4. Mohandas K. Gandhi.
I think it's Rasputin.
I think it's 1.
Let's see the answers. Hold up those cards. There we go. All right, we've got consensus on 1, which is the correct answer. Otto Edward Leopold, Prince of Bismarck, lived from April 1st, 1815 to July 30th, 1898. He was a conservative German statesman who masterminded the unification of Germany in 1871 and served as its first chancellor until 1890, in which capacity he dominated European affairs for 2 decades. I think everybody got that one. Point for everyone. In 1971, Idi Amin led a military coup in which country? Number 1, Papua New Guinea. Number 2, Angola. 3, Ghana. 4, Uganda. 1971, Idi Amin led a military coup. And everybody said 4, which is the correct answer. In 1971, General Idi Amin overthrew the elected government of Milton Obote and declared himself president of Uganda, launching a ruthless 8-year regime in which an estimated 300,000 civilians, were massacred, according to History.com.
The 31 questions.
What political work did Karl Marx co-author? Number 1, Mein Kampf. Number 2, The Wealth of Nations. Number 3, The Communist Manifesto. Or number 4, The Jungle.
Maybe 3.
Number three. We have consensus. That is the correct answer. On February 21st, 1848, the Communist Manifesto, written by Karl Marx with the assistance of Friedrich Engels, is published by a group of German-born revolutionary socialists known as the Communist League. The political pamphlet, arguably the most influential in history, proclaimed that the history of all hitherto existing society is the history of class struggles, and that the inevitable victory of the proletariat, or working class, would put an end to class society forever. History.com. All right, we've got a couple people watching us along on YouTube. So for you YouTube viewers, feel free to start entering your answers into the chat as we go through here. I'd love to see what everybody is thinking. You are absolutely invited to play from home. I've also put the URL for the quiz in the comments, so you can open it up on your own and answer as we go. But would love to have more people participating. I'm gonna keep going through the questions here. Which British queen ruled from 1837 to 1901? Number 1, Victoria. Number 2, Mary. 3, Elizabeth. 4, Elizabeth II. Which British queen ruled from 1837 to 1901? Building towards consensus. All right, Gordon said Mary, but Kevin and Dave both said Victoria. We're going with the majority. which is the correct answer. Known as the Victorian era, Queen Victoria's reign of 63 years and 7 months was longer than any of her predecessors. It was a period of industrial, political, scientific, and military change within the United Kingdom and was marked by a great expansion of the British Empire. At barely 5 feet tall, according to History.com, this British matriarch survived at least 6 serious assassination attempts. Did you have anything to add to that, Kevin?
I didn't realize that. That's pretty interesting. I knew there had been assassination attempts against her, but I had no idea there were that many.
Yeah.
Most of them happened while she was in a carriage in transport, which makes sense. That's where you're probably most vulnerable. Not when you're deep in your castle walls.
Right.
All right. The assassination of what political leader helped trigger the start of World War I? 1. Boutros Ghali. 2. Archduke Franz Ferdinand. 3. Tsar Nicholas. 4. William McKinley.
Yeah.
All right, everybody's going with Archduke Franz Ferdinand, which is correct. The Archduke of Australia and his wife Sophie were shot to death by a Bosnian Serb nationalist during an official visit to the Bosnian capital of Sarajevo on June 28, 1914. The killing sparked a chain of events that led to the outbreak of World War I by early August. On June 28, 1919, 5 years to the day after Franz Ferdinand's death, Germany and the Allied powers signed the Treaty of Versailles, officially marking the end of World War I. From History.com. Putting these questions together was fun because I was trying to find a balance of interesting world history facts without making it too just like being back to school. Not that there's anything wrong with that, Kevin.
Right.
School is awesome. But mixing in the current events, and we've got some fun ones mixed in here too. So how do you think we're doing, Kevin?
I like them. I think it's a good mix. And this question in particular, there's so many interesting things about that particular assassination. For example, there were multiple potential assassins in the crowd along the driving route. And one attempt kind of misfired. They threw a bomb at the car and it didn't get its intended target. They moved the car around and kind of deviated from their route and ended up right in front of Princip. I mean, like feet in front of him, just by happenstance.
Huh. So they really wanted that trigger on World War I to be pulled, it sounds like.
There are many books on that particular subject, and I've always found it just such a fascinating and pivotal point in world history.
Yeah, that is interesting. And it seems like we're pretty well on track. We're about halfway through the questions. We're approaching 7:30 here, so we're going to keep it going. The Battle of Hastings in 1066 was fought in which country? 1. Norway. 2. France. 3. Russia. 4. England. Everybody was quick to the card, so I think there's a lot of confidence behind this answer. And you are correct. On October 14th, 1066, the Battle of Hastings in England. King Harold II of England was defeated by the Norman forces of William the Conqueror. By the end of the bloody all-day battle, Harold was dead and his forces were destroyed. He was the last Anglo-Saxon king of England, as the battle changed the course of history and established the Normans as the rulers of England, which in turn brought about a significant cultural transformation. So did we give it away because it was the Battle of Hastings and we knew Hastings was in England, or were we all familiar with that? Why so much confidence, Dave?
Well,
It's one of the things you had to memorize.
well, yeah. Plus, I mean, we've gone to Hastings just to see the battles, and it's very unimpressive. It's just a piece of land right now. There's just nothing there. But yeah.
Very cool. All right, who was in the command module while Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin were on the moon? Number 1, John Glenn. Number 2, Michael Collins. Number 3, Eugene Cernan. Number 4, Jim Lovell. Who was in the command module while Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin were on the moon?
The liberator of Ireland.
Wow, unanimous consensus on Jim Lovell. which is not the correct answer. The primary objective of the Apollo 11 was to complete a national goal set by President John F. Kennedy on May 25th, 1961, perform a crewed lunar landing and return to Earth. Apollo 11 launched from Cape Kennedy on July 16th, 1969. Command Module pilot Michael Collins flew the Apollo 11 Command Module Columbia around the moon while his crewmates Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin made the first crewed landing on the surface.
I thought this was an IRA question you threw in here.
So we're at 14 points as a team. Here's 16 in. How's everybody doing individually? As we had Kevin and David since the beginning. Are you on par with us? How we doing?
You get 3 wrong.
I think I've missed 2.
All right.
I got 3 wrong.
And Gordon, since you could just take credit for all the points, like we said, it's. Did we cover the rules with you, Gordon?
You've got none wrong.
I was looking at on Facebook Live before, so yeah, we got about 3 wrong, I think.
All right. So self-scored, no prizes. Cheat if you want to. Those are the rules. We're just here to have fun. Still haven't seen anything from the YouTube audience, so let's get involved, people. Here we go. Come on. Oh, another question about the 100 Years' War. The 100 Years' War was fought between which 2 countries? Number 1, Italy and Greece. Number 2, France and England. Number 3, England and Germany. Number 4, Spain and Italy. All right, let's see your scorecards. Dave Hughes said number 2. 2-2. Oh, we've got Nevin Hollinger joining. Do we have unanimous consent, Jeff?
2.
2 is what we're going with? All right. France and England is correct. The 100 Years' War is a series of conflicts over the course of the 116 years between England and France over the right to rule the Kingdom of France. In 1431, 94 years into the conflict, Henry VI of England was crowned as King of France. By the late 1853, Henry VI went insane, by which point the coast of Calais was the only English possession left in France, which remained in the possession of France until the mid-1500s.
We have a new participant.
We do. Nevin snuck in. How you doing, Nevin?
Hello there.
Glad you could make it. We're about halfway through. Would you like me to cover the rules for you?
No, that's okay. You just proceed.
Okay.
Well, are you going to be in it, Nevin? You got to do this. We can't all look dumb. Come on, you got to join us.
Do you have your scorecards, Kevin or Nevin?
I have a scorecard.
All right. There's going to be four possible answers for each one.
Okay.
Peter Sheridan's joining us on YouTube. He says hi to everyone. Everyone say hi, Peter.
We'll just call that.
Hi, Peter.
All right, Nevin, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. We covered this one. Let's do the next one. What was the first dynasty in China? Number 1, the Zhou dynasty. Number 2, the Qing dynasty. Number 3, the Jia dynasty. Number 4, the Shang dynasty. 1, 2, 3, 4. Zhou, Qing, Jia, Shang. Looks like there's going to be a lot of guessing on this one. All right, let's see your numbers. Where's everybody putting their chips? Looks like David's going out on a limb here. Jeff's counting the other answers before he commits, it looks like. If you have just a 3 card, you don't have to write every answer out, Nevin. You can just hold up the number and then I'll take that. Okay, so we've got Dave. Did you try and switch your answer, Dave?
No.
Okay. You probably should have.
I'm sorry.
Jia dynasty is the founder of China's first dynasty, the Jia dynasty. Yu the Great is conventionally regarded as the inaugurator of the dynastic rule in China.
All right.
We're glad you were able to join, Nevin. Do you know everybody else on the call here? Is Nevin here?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Okay, glad we covered that. Here we go. All right, which virus has caused more widespread epidemics and pandemics than any other in the world? 1, tuberculosis. 2, influenza. 3, HIV. 4, smallpox. Which virus has caused more widespread epidemics and pandemics than any other in the world? Jeff with a quick early answer, going for number 2, influenza. Dave and Arlene are saying smallpox.
Ooh.
Smallpox. Nevin, we're kind of all over the place. 4 is the consensus answer. Smallpox is incorrect. According to history.com, epidemiologists generally agree that the 1580 influenza outbreaks is the. Oh, I'm sorry. Epidemiologists agree that in 1580 influenza outbreak is the earliest known pandemic. And the National Center for Biotechnology Information says there have been 3 worldwide pandemic outbreaks of the influenza occurring in the 20th century, 1918, 1957, 1968. And not classified as true pandemics are 3 notable epidemics: the pseudo-epidemic of 1947 with low death rates, an epidemic in 1977 that was pandemic in children, and an abortive epidemic of swine flu in 1976 that was feared to have pandemic potential. The correct answer is 2, influenza. Controversy there on that one. People were all over the place. This is a bad question. Okay. The founding father, which founding father had a house which is discovered to have about 1,200 bone pieces from about 10 human skeletons? 1 is apparently nobody. 2 is Benjamin Franklin.
And that's about it.
I think there might have been a problem with
help build up my score.
I think everybody gets a free point here. Does anybody really want to answer 1? All right, we're gonna go with Benjamin Franklin. And there's no reason, just just Benjamin Franklin. Wish I had more detail to share. Okay, when Pope Gregory IV rose to power, what animal did he order to exterminate across Europe in the belief that they were used in devil's worship and witchcraft? Number 1, ravens. Number 2, rats. Number 3, cats. Number 4, pigs. We've got a couple answers coming in through the chat on YouTube. You guys, if you guys could help me out and actually type out your answers, that would help, because I don't know based on the time exactly which one you're answering to. I think Peter says 1. Everybody here on the chat says 3. And 3 is the correct answer.
So Nevin's coming in last every time, so you can see what everybody else is doing.
Just waiting. In the 13th century, Pope Gregory IV, Pope from 1227 to 1241, believed that cats actually carried the spirit of Satan himself within them. He might have been onto something. Since that time, black cats have symbolized bad luck or a curse to people not only in Europe but throughout the world. Pope Gregory came to this belief based on evidence provided by Papal Inquisitor Conrad of Marburg, who had his own beliefs about cats, in the form of inquisitive confessions by people who worshipped Satan and the black cats that he resided in. So that's where the
cat has been long known as the witch's familiar.
Troublemakers, these cats.
And there are parts of the world where black cats are very uncommon because of superstition.
Been wiped out. Now we know why. Some Papal Inquisitor had a thing against cats, and now we all pay for it. The shortest war in human civilization was between England and Zanzibar. How many hours did it last? 27 days, less than an hour, 2 days, 2 weeks. England and Zanzibar.
Wait till Nevin puts this up.
Nevin held up a blank piece of paper. Oh, there we go. 3. Got it. Okay, we've got 2 2s and 3 2s and 2 3s. So the 2s are the consensus vote, less than an hour, which is correct. The Anglo-Zanzibar War was a military conflict fought between the United Kingdom and the Zanzibar Sultanate on August 27th, 1896. The conflict lasted between 38 and 45 minutes, marking it as the shortest war in history. The immediate cause of the war was the death of the pro-British Sultan Hamad bin Tuwalini, on August 2nd, and the subsequent succession of Sultan Khalid bin Bargash, the war marked the end of Zanzibar Sultanate as a sovereign state.
So I have a confession to make. I had no idea as to the answer. I was just working off the hope that you tipped your hand by asking for hours. Only one of the
Yep.
possible answers
You did.
is written in it.
That was quite much.
A little bit of a rescue then. And Peter in the chat had guessed 2 weeks. I was shocked, but it was a fun question. I did tip it a little bit, but in the wording. I'll be more careful next time, guys. Don't worry. Fool me once. Can't get fooled again. What famous children's party game that doesn't involve balls was an Olympic event from 1900 to 1920? Number 1, hide and seek. Number 2, tug of war. Number 3, tag. Number 4, musical chairs. Oh, everybody guesses 2, and the answer is in fact 2. Tug of war was contested as a team event in the Summer Olympics at every Olympiad from 1900 to 1920. Originally, the competition was entered by groups called clubs. A country would enter more than one club in the competition, making it possible for one country to earn multiple medals. This happened in 1904 when the United States won all 3 medals, and again in 1908 when the podium was occupied by 3 British teams, all of which I believe were police departments from various cities across England.
So,
And I think to this day, there's still some call to bring tug of war back so that they can defend and repeat those titles.
I think hide and seek would be a great Olympic.
Hide and seek would be. Hide and seek would be.
Well, I'm kind of in the musical chairs myself.
What I like about all 4 of these options here is these are games I'm not saying I would win, but I could actually be competitive in.
Yeah.
And never win in musical chairs.
No, I'm with you. And tag is actually a game that you'll see on TV now. They play it very aggressively on these jungle gym type courses, but it does look like a lot of fun.
What happened to Marco Polo?
Oh,
Absolutely.
that's
That should be
well.
Olympic
So I didn't actually have the question I found just said tug of war, and I had to kind of make up 3 other kids games that seemed possible at least. So that was a fun exercise. Musical chairs was my last draft pick. What would we add to this list? Marco Polo is a good one. You could utilize the water polo teams for that. Is water polo an Olympic sport? I don't even know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Make it a warm up for that. All right. In which century did the French Revolution take place? The 16th century, 1. 2, the 17th century. 3, the 18th century. Or 4, the 19th century. 3. Clifford on YouTube also got tug of war with us, so it looks like the 3s are running away with it, Nevin. You are our sole vote for the 17th century, but we're going with the 18th century on consensus from the panel. The French Revolution was a watershed event in modern European history that began in 1789 and ended in the late 1790s with the ascent of Napoleon Bonaparte. During this period, French citizens raised and redesigned their country's political landscape, uprooting centuries-old institutions such as absolute monarchy and the feudal system. From history.com.
That's correct. And they redid Paris and streets and all the rest. Yeah.
What? Say that again, David?
They redid Paris and made it into a beautiful city.
After all the heads were rolled.
No, Napoleon did that early.
What was that, Jeff?
So after the heads rolled, they had a surface to put it on.
Yeah. Fun event. All right. Oh, I like this one. The Parthenon was built in honor of this goddess. Number 1, Hera, the goddess of marriage. Number 2, Athena, the goddess of wisdom. Number 4, Artemis, the goddess of the hunt. No, I'm sorry. I skipped 2. I get to 4. Let me start over. 1, Hera. 2, Athena. 3, Artemis, the goddess of the hunt. 4, Selene, goddess of the moon. All right, the 2s are running away. Are you showing me? Oh, there it is. All right, everybody voted 2. Athena, goddess of wisdom, is correct. The Parthenon is a former temple on the Athenian Acropolis, Greece, dedicated to the goddess Athena, whom people of Athens considered their patron. Not to be confused with the recreation of the Parthenon in Nashville's Centennial Park, which was used as a backdrop for the battle against the Hydra in the 2010 film Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lightning Thief. Which is really cool. Has anybody?
He's always coming up after the rest of us. I think he's cheating.
Wow.
I agree with Gordon.
My only option is to drop out.
But cheating's legal in this.
Yeah, Nevin, you said you didn't need to hear the rules, but I think you do. It's on the honor system. It's self-scored, and there's no cheating. So all you have to do is say that you've got what? We're just go with 22. That's where the panel is right now. Okay. And we are getting some good participation from Peter and Clifford in the YouTube channel. Appreciate that, guys. And we'll move on to the next question here. In what year was Mahatma Gandhi killed? 1, 1934. 2, 1939. 3, 1948. Or 4, 1950. If you're going to enter your answers in on the chat, just type out the full year so that I know which question and which number you're referring to. Got a little bit of it. And now Nevin took that seriously. He threw his answer up with confidence and very quickly. However, everybody disagrees with you, Nevin. So maybe you should have held on to that and follow the herd. The number was 3, which is the correct answer.
We got it.
Revered the world over for his nonviolent philosophy and passive resistance,
Mohandas. 3 up there.
Excellent. See, there you go. Gandhi was known to his many followers as Mahatma, or the Great Souled One. He began his activism as an Indian immigrant in South Africa in the early 1900s, and in the years following World War I became the leading figure in India's struggle to gain independence from Great Britain. On January 30th, 12 days after the fast ended, Gandhi was on his way to an evening prayer meeting in Delhi when he was shot to death by Nathuram Godse, a Hindu fanatic, enraged by Mahatma's efforts to negotiate with Jinnah and other Muslims. The next day, roughly 1 million people followed the procession as Gandhi's body was carried in state through the streets and the city. What percentage of the world's population lives in a country rated as free by Freedom House? 1, 34%. 2, 46%. 3, 62%. Or 4, 87%. What percentage of the world's population lives in a country rated as free by Freedom House? Early ones from Dave and Jeff. All right. 3. So 1, 1, 2, 3. So we're going to go with 1, 34%. You guys are kind of pessimistic.
Oh.
The actual answer is 46% from foreignpolicy.com. In 2008, nearly half the world. Gordon's changing his answer. There you go. Just write down the score.
Gordon knows how to play this thing.
That's what I had in there the first time.
In 2008, nearly half the world's people lived in a country rated free by Freedom House, which has rated countries on political rights and civil liberties for more than 30 years. The number of countries classified as free, the number of countries classified as free and the number of people living in free countries has declined for the past 3 years. Freedom is deteriorating in non-Baltic states of the former Soviet Union, and Afghanistan's rating has dropped from partly free to not free in 2008. I don't know how old this question is now that I'm reading it. To check and see how that
I am surprised it's that high, given, I don't know, I guess we consider India free, but I'm not too sure sometimes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's a very subjective kind of thing. I had no idea. I don't know anything much about Freedom House. I was just choosing the lowest number and guessing.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and actually 87 wasn't even one of the like proposed answers. I just felt like there should be a higher option for the optimists. But I was way off with that. And if you don't know, my son is a math major, and there's an imaginary number called I, which has a very specific meaning in math, but I tell him just use I when you don't know, because it's an imaginary number. It can mean whatever you want it to mean. So I would also have accepted I for this question.
Well, when you don't know the answer, you don't want to go to the lowest or the highest. You take one of the
Something in the middle.
ones.
Yeah.
You get a 50-50 chance.
That is a Charlie Brown system. I like that.
Yeah. I think I was told always pick C if you don't know. All right, we're winding down here. These last handful of questions. After China and the United States, not including China and the United States, which country emits the most carbon dioxide? Brazil, 1. 2, India. 3, Russia. 4, England. 2. It doesn't matter, Gordon. Everybody says 2. There you go. The answer is Russia. By 2007, China had overtaken the United States to become the world's largest emitter of carbon dioxide. Russia now holds the number 3 spot, but rapidly developing number 4. India is set to surpass it in the near future. The top emitter on a per capita basis is tiny Qatar, whose economy is built on exporting hydrocarbons to the world.
Well, wait, are we talking per capita or are we talking in total?
Just take the point, Jeff. I don't know. I researched the questions, but I didn't research that hard, so I'm not really sure, to be honest. But it's a good question. I would say I'll bring it back next time, but I probably won't. Which country has the highest operational wind power capacity? The highest operational wind power capacity. China, 1. 2, Germany. 3, United States. 4, Sweden. The highest operational wind power capacity. Gordon up front, leading the way with a 4. 4-4, everybody coming in. Dave Hewitt, Salone 2. Where's Jeffrey gonna fall?
I'll do a 3.
All right, going out on a limb. This is just to be contrary. The answer is the United States.
Oh, there you go.
In 2008, the United States blew past Germany, to the number 1 spot when it increased its wind power capacity to 25 gigawatts. According to the Global Energy Wind Council, last year the worldwide capacity grew 29%, the largest annual increase in 6 years. After number 2 ranked Germany, which has 24 gigawatts of capacity, comes Spain, where Don Quixote famously tilted at windmills, about 17 gigawatts.
Yes.
All right. Oh, here again, only 3 answers. I don't know what I was thinking. Couldn't come up with the 4th one. Fortune cookies were invented in this country. China, the United States, or Japan. 1, China. 2, the United States. 3, Japan. Oh. Wow. Most people said 2. Gordon said number 1. The correct answer is number 3. Everybody was so confident. Fortune cookies, despite being associated with Chinese cuisine in the United States, were invented in Japan and introduced to the U.S. by the Japanese. The cookies are extremely rare in China, where they are seen as symbols of American cuisine. So popularized in America, it sounds like, but from Japan. And here we are for the final question. Is this a make or break question for anybody? Where are we?
Do we get extra points for this question then, huh?
That's an excellent point, David. I think in keeping with the rules, you could just say this last question is worth as many points as you want it to be. This puppeteer was the sole performer of Sesame Street's Big Bird from 1969 to 2018. 1, Bill Beretta. 2, Frank Oz. 3, Jim Henson. 4, Carol Spinney.
It's not Henson. I want to say Frank Oz.
I'm Frank Oz, but I think Carol Quinney.
I gotta say
2,
Frank
2, 4, 1, 2. All right, the twos have it by consensus of the panel. And you chose Frank Oz. I'm going to wait just a couple seconds here to see if Peter and Clifford want to vote. Peter says also Frank Oz. I want to see what Clifford's vote is, but Frank Oz is what the panel's going to choose. Who are my twos? Or who wasn't a two?
We were.
Do you have inside information, Jeff? Who you said number 4, Carol Spinney?
I think I watched something on the history of Sesame Street not too long ago.
All right.
Didn't he just die?
Yeah, he just died. That's
he
was
did.
on the news.
Yeah.
All right. Does anybody want to change their answers?
No.
No. All right. Well, sadly, number 2 is not the correct answer. There is no explanation. Carol Spinney was the correct answer. And as
I
a
got all
panel,
those points with it.
that's right. As a panel, we got 24 out of 30. So for everybody who's keeping track, raise your hand if you had a 24 or better.
We did.
we
Says so.
There you go. See, Carol gets it.
Come on, Carol.
Nice. All right. The prometers take it.
Nevin took it too. I mean,
I had 27.
There you go. That's what happens when you understand the rules, Dave.
What you don't understand is we had 32.
There you go. Absolutely.
No, we taking away the average.
Embracing the rules here. That's how we do it. All right, that was a lot of fun. I super appreciate you guys coming to play my little games here today. What do we think?
well, I think it's fun you put it together, Michael.
Yeah, it is fun.
Mike, I liked it. I thought it was great.
This is a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Agreed.
So Jeff and Linda, I think you're the only ones that I don't know personally. Everybody else we're on the board together. You're Linda, as you said, is a member of the council.
It's Sheila.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sheila.
Yeah.
And so, how do you watch our luncheon programs? What do you think?
Sometimes
Yeah.
I do. Yes.
I
If
put
I'm
this-
not on any other business, I do.
Well, I appreciate that you came to join us tonight.
You guys do great decisions as well, right? Don't you?
Yeah, are you in great decisions?
Jeff and Sheila, do you do great decisions?
Oh, I did great decisions. I do great decisions.
Yeah, I thought so.
And we get some feedback from Peter, who was on us with the entire stream here on YouTube. So the goal would be to keep doing this. Maybe we do it on a weekly basis. Maybe we spread it out a little bit more, but get a panel like this together. 6, 8, 10 people who want to play live. We'll broadcast it out to our members on YouTube live. And this is our first broadcast, a little bit of a dress rehearsal or a dry run, but this was a lot of fun. I'm going to actually dock everybody 10 points for not wearing your ugly sweaters and just leaving me hanging on this. Let that be a lesson to you for next time. And what do we think? Any final thoughts?
Oh,
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun, Mike. I can tell you from my experience helping generate questions for Pub Global Trivia, if you're talking 30 questions every week, that's more work than you might think.
Yeah.
I would suggest no more frequent than twice a month, and maybe just once a month. But
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that, Kevin, because one proposal was that we have the professors each contribute the questions for a week so that we can spread that workload a little bit.
right?
but now one of the difficulties with
We're-
professors, the
we're-
questions get a little harder. So
They can.
Yeah, that's
Huh?
true.
They can.
Because we could choose like the World Quest questions, but those questions are no joke.
No, you're right. No.
Mike, I thought you did a good job on the difficult level. It was a nice mix of history, which I prefer because I did a little better in. And then some of those like the wind I thought it was a good mix.
And it was fun to mix in some of the explanations a little bit too. I know personally I learned a couple interesting facts from several of those questions.
I agree, Mike. I think that it is important, and I would like to utilize this on an ongoing basis. But I think the questions have to be reasonable questions, and I thought this was a very good selection.
Yeah. I was trying to be very conscious of that, and we want it to be fun. We don't want people to not be able to answer the questions.
Right.
Not trying to trick anyone. But yeah, lots of fun. So the people who stuck with us, again, super appreciated on YouTube Live. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it with your friends, send in your feedback. You can reply to the email that I sent out earlier today, inviting everybody to the stream. Just let me know what you thought. If you have any suggestions on how we can improve the show, let me know. Anything you don't want to see again, let me know. But I think the scoring was fun. Everybody had a good time. I appreciate everybody coming out, and we're going to wrap it up there. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas. Great job. Really great idea.
So much.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for joining.
Month would be plenty.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.